Hello everyone, GoldenHawk here, creator of Ancient Powers and 24th degree High Priestess from the House of Life. I'm coming on today to talk about solar activities and Ascension. It kind of covers a lot of things, so this week has been crazy. We have had two Class 3 solar storms, geomagnetic storms. We have about I think about 100 to 200 of those a year. It doesn't seem like many, but we actually have thousands of the lesser class. These last two have been huge, huge solar storms. And we've had consistent, non-stop energy between them. Last Saturday and yesterday. And I know I have been massively busy with calls and have had to go and work on a few people in person. And I don't have to do a lot of that, especially the grads. I mean, most of them can take care of themselves, or we can get on long distance and boom, boom, they can pull themselves back in alignment. And for the most part, I can pull myself back in alignment and just supercharge, because I sleep like 5 hours a night most of the time and I'm fine. Right now, I would like to curl up on a couch, put on an old movie, and not even bother to watch it. Really, really needing to recharge at this point, but not really getting much sleep at all. So I know that you all know what that activity is like. We have several different types of solar storms. A lot of the lesser storms are felt only at our poles, but the Class 2 and Class 3 storms are felt all the way down into the Pacific Northwest, more often because of the band that usually comes in also than in the lower northern part of the rest of the world. But this is also hitting all the way across the U.S. into the East Coast. And we are really, really being just pumped up with this energy, with all of these other planetary pieces. And I know we got 6 planets in retrograde. Okay, Chiron was in retrograde too, which is 7. And namaste. I'm glad you joined, Monica. But and Chiron is making aspects all over the place. Chiron being the wounded healer, and lots of old stuff is coming up, stuff that we thought was way past. Blessings to you, Helen, or Helen Jean. We haven't spoken in person yet. Anyway, and we've got a lot of stuff being held up because of it. So, and also not a lot of real clear guidance. My guidance is usually really clear. If they're not getting the message through to me personally, they'll get me in front of somebody that they'll talk to and dial a deity. Here they are. And Hathor's giving somebody a message, or Ra. and I obviously I'm going to get out what I need out, because I'm going to have it through my channels. And I'm getting push. Get the classes out. And I'm sitting here looking at about 50 classes, actually, people. I don't know if you realize this, but I've got 2 of my big major 5 courses up. I do an accelerated, and I've just put 7 people through the accelerated course, and along with taking regular clients, and it's been busy. Like I said, most of my students come to a point where they can take care of themselves, or pop me over a question, or well, we do Dreamtime work and everything. It's pretty fascinating, but this is nowhere near normal, and they've given me 2 big more batches of work to do, which is going to be a big bunch of inner earth journeys and iron core pieces, which actually were started on in 2009 when the Diamond Gate actually opened. I'm hearing all of this stuff about the Lion's Gate and the Diamond Gate, and it's like, well, the Diamond Gate opened under the Lion's Gate activation in 2009 for the actual beginning wave. I understand that we've got a calendrical wave happening at a lower level that's broadcasting it to a lot more people, but it's like, we're already on it. Here we go, deeper. We've got stuff coming in on the Ancient and Shining Ones massively, and I'm being told, you're going to Europe and get ready, and I do see that happening, hopefully not too much sooner than the next 8 or 9 months, but it's a big push, and I know how important this is. I really do. People are waking up like crazy, do not have the training, do not understand how to take this information, and so many people, it's like, yeah, you got to open your third eye. Now let me tell you about your third eye and what really needs to happen to the third eye once it's open, because it's focused into the probability field, and it needs to move into the sovereign field, and this takes work. And we weren't taught, at the age of 4, going into a temple, how to meditate, how to connect, how to ground, how to center, how to create the fields around us, how to have control over all of this. And the sun, the solar pieces, are just moving things through anyway. These waves are coming in, the earth is responding, and depending on what's going on in each one of our personal charts, and as I start things out with know thyself, Saturn's causing all of these fluctuations in retrograde, and Uranus, slow mover, causing all these fluctuations in retrograde and hitting all over the place. Chiron, erratic. My grandmother would have called it a real gunny wobbler. Boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, boom. And this is the wounded healer. This is the wound that could not be healed until we moved into the photon belt. And so deep woundings, cultural woundings, racial woundings, planetary woundings, extinctions. I mean, big things. And here we are, hopefully not at the end of our lines, but this open piece in our lineage going, I can move this, I can move that, or they're telling me to move this and they're telling me to move that, but you didn't have the skills. You've got the ability. You know you have the ability. You've always had the ability. And you were told you were crazy, probably for years, or that it was your imagination. Nobody's that imaginative without any source whatsoever. my generation was not born with the internet. It was born with like 2 TV channels in some people's houses and no TV in others. And this stuff was coming in with us, this information that historians and hey Sana, oh, I got some stuff on what they're teaching in Holland. Great stuff. Really way better system there. Anyway, the stuff that's opening now is proving all of this information that we came in with as children. And now we have to catch up with ourselves as children because we were told to shut all this off because it was crazy, because it was imagination. Some people have lost it. It's not lost. It just needs to be turned back on, tuned back in. It's frequency. It's flow. It's what's in your chart and what's hitting it now. The sun, and I need to have a specific live on the difference between the sun being your ruling planet and the other planets, because guess what? Everything revolves around the sun. It doesn't change. The moon, the other great light, here's the difference. It revolves around the earth and moves through a sign every 2.5 days. Cancers are not moody. Cancers are only cancers 1/12 of the time. The rest of the time they're seeing things through the eyes and the field of a Cancer as another sign. So need to have a live on that too. But I'm not an astrologer. Well, I am an astrologer, but it's not my specialty. There's just so much out there, and there's so much bad information out there. There's so much information coming from the closed loops. If the system that's being looked at was created during the period before the photon activations started, before the convergence, and it doesn't come from an ancient tribal system, it's going to keep you hooked in the loops. It's going to pull you higher up in 4D, possibly give you darker hells, definitely keep you interconnected in those loops, in karma. Does not give you a placement of actual power or sovereignty. Stripping those systems will. Working with the solar shifts that are happening right now, that's what gives us the availability to do it. That's what actually gives us the information to do it. Because that is solar information that we have been closed off from for over 9,500 years. So knowing your chart, really important. You will continue to get hit. You will continue to move through these deep shifts. Bringing your field into an alignment that you can adjust with is what's really necessary to keep your energy fairly regulated and definitely protected, not in a I'm under constant attack way, but as in I don't want to be invaded by an information field that is not aligned with where I'm going. So it's just boundary lines. Um, very, very, very important. And there will be more information out from me, and I'm going to get the ongoing. Cat is coming, and she always makes big changes for me, especially technologically. Super funny story. Got my first computer, my first laptop, had it for a few months, maybe. Kat was one of the two people teaching me. And I'd moved, and I'd gone and laid down. I had my computer up, and my cat danced across my keyboard, and I jumped up, and it wasn't in time, and everything on the screen was like some kind of weird gibberish, and I was freaking out. I called Kat, and she was laughing at me. And my cat had changed my settings to wingdings, and until Cat got to the house, could switch it. I don't know what button you're talking. There's a bunch of buttons, and have you seen a keyboard on a computer? There's a bunch of buttons, all buttons. So anyway, she helped me with that. But yeah, I haven't come that far with computers or with the programs to where I can really get this technology rolling too very fast. So it's going to be just a little bit longer. And look at this. Oh, Robert, yes. Yeah, I was just speaking, Robert. I hope you're still out here. Um, yeah, there was some extra really deep stuff. Hi, Terry. Extra really deep stuff that was coming up from a much deeper cellular level because of these geomagnetic storms and this last week. And from my own monitoring of it, I do believe it was processing us further out of the loops rather than I believe it was processing us further out of the loops than drawing us back in. But it has been a really, really hard hit. And actually, like I said, I would give a great deal to be able to just lay down, curl up, and just go into a deep meditation. Like I said, some background noise, and just recharge. And now's, oh God, Terry's watching at work. I love her so much. I don't have time to do the recharge yet. I'm hoping tomorrow evening. We will be getting some more stuff in. I am not going to go live on Monday until after Kat gets here, so it could be late at night. So people may be watching us maybe in Hawaii or something. I don't know if we're lucky. But the classes will get up fast. I am going to put them up live first. So the first people who sign up in the classes are going to be able to help do the first formatting and formation of from where we're at now to where we're going. Because I have been told that once again we have to reset a lot of the sacred places around the earth, not because of the solar piece, but the geomagnetics, the earth shifts that are happening because of the sun. I'm going to be going and doing that in a few months and doing live classes on the sites that we're going to. So I really want to get this basic stuff up, and I would like to get into the deep shamanic practices. And actually, I do a spatial cognizance alchemy that is the bomb, and you've got to be pretty well trained to actually move through it. And I want to start getting a great deal of the channels out because the netters are like wanting to talk to a lot of people. So we're trying to get a network up to start doing that so I can get channeling out to specific people. There's a lot of you out there in the group that she wants to talk to. Ator, Ninefold One, and a few that Haru and a couple of the others have got specific messages. Every one of these waves, I get more messages from more people. And to tell you the truth, it's not a recognition by name. It's like your face comes by and it's like, oh, that person. And so that's another thing that I'm trying to get set up and organized. I will have a great deal of information up here, and I'm also going to have some connections for you to be able to help your kids, because I know most of you that have kids out there, your kids are indigos, crystals, or diamonds. A great deal of them are ADHD or a few ADD, whatever they're putting labels on. Our children that are actually born to ascend. I mean, they are already moved up so far in the scale. I could say energetically, but understand their glands work different. Their chemistry is different. And we have to find ways of parenting as we go along. They have to teach us. And I got some good information for some of that and some other contacts. And there's more than just funny wing ding stories, as you know, Sherry Williams. You were around for some of the classes where we had 16 people go into a automatic past life regression, and the whole story rolled out for like an hour and a half. That was a great one. Automatic transformations into otherworldly creatures. We had a few of those. Were pretty great too. Different setting though. I need to not be talking to a screen. I need to be talking to some of you, and for real. And we're going to make that happen too. And I usually say, connect with me, and I'll get you hooked up in a class. But basically, next week, Kat and I are going to be moving this. I'm going to be sending some of you actual lineups of the different courses that would help you and what order they're going to be the best in. And I read this, watch that, etc., so that you can get yourself a little further along with what you need. And contact me not this Monday. Have fun, do your Labor Day thing, and breathe through these shifts and changes. And if you got some good rocks, curl up with those, because they're probably the best thing to help you right now. Flowers are great, actually. Some aromatherapy, and maybe a saltwater bath. And get with me the following Monday, because we're going to be kicking some spiritual butai and connecting up some of the solar lunar stuff, and really lining this up in a much more organizational manner. Kat is really good at telling me what I need to teach when. She was good at that a decade and a half ago. She's going to be good at it again. And sometimes she tones me down from teaching at a doctorate level, and brings me back down to really getting in where it's lots of fun and not quite so exhausting, and really helps with the gritting. our Mayan friends are really good at figuring out the calendrical pieces, I guess. Keeps us in balance. Ma, 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 ma. I love you all. And we will be chatting probably a little bit more next week than the last few weeks, because I really am asking you, all of you, what do you feel your needs are at this point? And there'll be more coming out. And Cat can type. That's really cool. Cat can type. Love.